AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday.
Feeling queasy, gang? Upset stomach after a cold soak meal gone wrong? Nauseous after a Carl joke? Fear not! Now, there's Bog Water Buddy. Unfiltered, filtered bog water from the backwood bogs all over to toughen up your gut to handle anything and digest anything. Just a sip a day keeps diarrhea mostly away. Check it out at runnybooty.bogbuddy. Hello, everybody. This is Derek, and with me today is the only man who still chews bark and says it's gum, Carl Mandrioli. Getting a little old, buddy.
Welcome to the Backpack Lurchers podcast. We are tips and tales with a sense of humor. With me today is a man that once went to the grocery store to get 6 Sprites, but he accidentally picked 7-Up.
Wow. There has to be a website you go to for those.
Possibly.
Has to be like...
We got John Mackey on the episode today.
John
Yes.
Mack. How'd you feel about it? You feeling solid about it?
I'm feeling great, but I'm a little nervous about my next question for you.
Oh, no.
Derek.
Okay.
Who's John Mackey?
John Mackey. Is he like an NFL player or something like that?
Please subscribe for the most prepared podcast in the world. Derek
There
and
we
Carl
go.
right here.
It's been a minute.
He is not an NFL player.
What are you talking about?
And in his 70s, I don't know that that's a good time to play football, but
He was.
he was. Okay. He was the Whole Foods CEO until they sold out to Amazon.
Oh, right. Of course.
Yeah, if you Google like most famous backpackers of all time, his name comes up because he is a legit thru hiker. He's thru hiked a ton of trails. He actually took a sabbatical while he was working at Whole Foods. Like while he was a CEO, he took 5 months off to do the Appalachian Trail back in the early 2000s.
Does Whole Foods let you take sabbaticals? Is that a thing?
I know. I tried to ask him that question.
Yeah, I thought you had to be like a pastor or something. No? Just a professor. Or an NFL player. Exactly.
I know. How do I get a sabbatical? That's a
You're
fair
welcome.
question.
Jeez.
Yeah. But he actually has a lot of really good backpack information. He's got a really interesting story for how he got into thru hiking. And yeah, so this is an important person to be part of our episode.
He's had a wild life, and I'm excited to hear.
He's coming up here in a moment. We put out an episode a few weeks back. This was like during Thanksgiving week about the best troll comments.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Oh, yeah. I got your
Yeah.
email about some of these, yeah.
Yeah, we have troll reactions to our troll episode that are quite unexpected. We should have known better, let's be honest.
It's going to happen. I think considering the amount of people who listen to us, and we get a small percentage, which I take that as a win. Would you take that as a win?
We have a great reaction generally, and I don't mean that these are bad reactions. We had some interesting reactions. I don't know that there's bad reactions. It's just like, yeah, well, it's coming up. Okay.
I would expect nothing less.
All right. Well, Bible verse of the episode,
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 2:6, you shall purchase food from them with money that you may eat, and you shall also buy water from them with money that you may drink. So this is a reference to the Israelites paying their own way with other nations. Speaking of paying your own way, Derek, when was the last time you used cash at the grocery store?
Ooh, at the grocery store? Never. I did use cash to pay. Where was I the other? It was just the other day.
Okay.
I was at a home store. It's called Home Goods. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but
That's not a grocery store, is it?
no, but it's a store for home goods. Goods for your home.
Okay. All right. Disregard the question. Go ahead. Tell us about Home Goods.
If you like candles and blankets and pillows, this is the store for you guys. Home Goods has
Correct.
it all. Totally worthless memorabilia and trinkets.
This episode is brought to us by Home Goods.
Trinkets
apparently.
you don't need and the things that you didn't know you realized you didn't need, again, at Home Goods.
That's a great answer. When was the last time you used cash in the grocery store?
It's like this. It's like a store of things you thought you wanted, but you didn't really want them.
Well, we're talking grocery stores because he's the Whole Foods CEO, so we definitely have some grocery store action. If you're like, I wonder if Carl's going to ask about such and such with the grocery store, since you have like a grocery store expert on, the answer is yes. No punches were pulled.
I want you to ask him why is it considered the most like poshy store out there of all grocery stores?
Well, I'll answer that question after we hear from him. So the following conversation with John Mackey is brought to you by Enlighten Equipment, one of John Mackey's favorite companies. Get the best ultralight quilts at enlightenequipment.com. Without further ado, here we go. With us today is the co-founder of Whole Foods, an author, a thru hiker who has finished the Appalachian Trail, the PCT, the Colorado Trail, and others whose names I can't pronounce. Mr. John Mackey, how's it going today, sir?
Pretty good, Carl. How about yourself?
It's going great. This is a pleasure and honor to spend some time with you, hang out with you, and chat some backpacking, through hiking, and everything between. So, all right. According to Backpacking Magazine, you're ranked as one of the top 10 most famous backpackers of all time, but it ranks you as having only a so-so trail name, which is Strider. Do you have any theories about why that would be?
Well, I don't have any idea why I would be in the top 10 most famous backpackers, except what that tells me is that backpackers aren't very famous.
Yeah, that you're in like John Muir's on that list.
Yeah, John Muir's probably
famous.
The only one most people can name, right? You think about
Off that list, you're probably right about that. I don't know, does Theodore Roosevelt count? Because John Muir invited Theodore Roosevelt on a trip.
was he a backpacker? I mean, I think of him as he was a safari guy. He's out there shooting and killing animals. That's what he liked to do.
I know, but he went with John Muir to the Yosemite.
Oh,
so
that's
at least
right.
for one trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get.
So at least one time he was, but he wasn't on the list. There was, I don't know if they counted Edmund Hillary, but
Think about all these people though that are setting all these backpacking records that and within the backpacking world are famous.
yeah.
But they set nobody in the mainstream's heard of them. It's like
Yeah, nobody cares. I don't even care about them. Like, to me, it's not very impressive, especially if they're supported. So if you're hiking a long trail and you see somebody who has somebody hiking parallel to them, feeding them just to support them so they don't have to like carry the food, to me, that's like not very adventurous. That's not very fun.
that's just kind of that's just an ultra runner
Right.
running on a backpacking trail, but they're not camping. They're not seeing anything. Obviously, they're just trying not to fall down, I guess.
Right, that's correct. Which when I go running, I do fall down, so that's harder than it seems. But all right, so your trail name is Strider, and I tried looking up. I don't know when that came out, but it seemed you did the Appalachian Trail in 2002, which is when the Lord of the Rings movies were coming out. Is there any relation there?
Yeah. Well, yes. Here's the background on that one. So,
Okay.
I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Long before those movies came out, before I got out of high school, I'd read all those books, the whole trilogy. I read them at least five times before I got out of high school. I was totally into Frodo, and one of the characters I really liked was Strider. I liked Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
Oh yeah.
And I identified with him. He's a favorite character in the book. But then as I'm going to do the Appalachian Trail, it's kind of like, well, nobody knew Strider was this king. And when you go out on the trail and you take on your trail name, then people they don't care what you're doing in, quote, real life. You're in this magical world, if you're a thru hiker, for several months. And you don't really get into many conversations with people about what they do in the real world, right? So I was kind of the king of Whole Foods Market, you might say, but I was nobody knew it. And so, so
we do Patreon trips for people that support us and are part of our family. We do trips typically twice a year, and so for a couple of years now, we've been suggesting that one year we want to do a Patreon trip where everybody has to come in character as a Lord of the Rings character. So
that'd be fun.
Would you be willing to go on a backpacking trip dressed as Aragorn with us?
Let's say that possibly, but I'm not going to commit today.
No, I'm not asking you to commit. I'm just wondering if it was even be on your radar of like in the realm of possibility.
I don't remember what Aragorn, how he dressed. You don't get that from the books too much. Tolkien's not a big descriptor of people's clothing.
Okay, well, we'll put you on the maybe list for that. All right, so you took a 5-month sabbatical to hike the Appalachian Trail in that year.
Correct.
So how did you make this happen? What inspired you to do this? At the time, you're the CEO of Whole Foods. It seems like a really big deal.
This is a story that led to that, and that doing that through hike. Before then, I was your more typical backpacker. I was
Right.
backpacking for a long, long time, but a Colin Fletcher kind of guy. I get the 55, 60-pound pack, and I'm
Right.
a pretty small guy, a small frame, strained to go 5 miles in, flap it down, then you get you got all your gear, but then you do day hikes off of your base, and that you go to a national park and do that, and that was my backpacking experience. Then I did read the Pacific Crest Trail Handbook by Ray Jardine. That was that was a huge inspiration for me personally.
I read that one, yeah. Corn pasta?
Yeah, well, I like corn pasta. I don't find it to be quite the miracle food he does. But
Right.
but I do like corn pasta. But before I even read that book, I'm in New York. We had some long-term bond debt, and every year, a couple of years, the bond agencies want you to come in and talk with them so they can understand your debt, so they can rate the bond. And it just happened to be on September 11th, 2001. And we were going downtown. We were not going into the Twin Towers that day, but we were going like next door, more or less. And we're driving when the first tower got hit by the plane, the jet. We got an interruption on our, we're in a limo basically, or the driver taking us down there. Interrupts the radio to say that a jet had just crashed into one of the Twin Towers, and was very disturbing because we're going to be right there. And I said, well, we're heading down that way, and then we're getting close down to where we want to get to when the second jet hits the second tower, and we heard the explosion. It was deafening, so loud, and the next thing, all this debris started to rain onto our car. And you saw thousands of people pouring out of the offices all around us, pointing up and looking. And so I got out, and you could see both of the towers on fire. And all I could think to myself, okay, one is a coincidence, possibly. A second one, that's New York is under attack. And then I immediately thought, we cannot continue this. We're not going to have any meetings with bond agencies today. They're going to shut this island down. They're going to shut the airlines down. We're going to be trapped in New York. And so I immediately told the driver, I had two people with me, a chief financial officer and an investor relations person, that we were going to be in the bond meeting. I said, we're heading to the train station. Go right now. Go to the train station. We're going to get out of New York before this martial law is declared and we can't get out of here. And so I believe we caught the last train out of New York, but we only got as far as Philadelphia because then they shut the train system down. Then we get to Philadelphia, and that's as far as we can get to. So now trains are shut down. So we rented a car, and we began to drive back to Austin.
So the story, yeah.
We're going through Appalachian Mountains on a good part of that journey out. And so we're heading there. And then that reminded me of when I was a little boy, and we were on a family vacation. And we were someplace on the East Coast. I don't know where we were. I was probably 7 or 8 years old. And then we get to this road crossing, and this man with this enormous backpack with a long beard comes out of the woods. And I said, Daddy, who is that man? And what's he doing? What's he doing? My dad said, well, John, I think that man's hiking the Appalachian Trail. Well, what's the Appalachian Trail, Daddy? He says, well, John, that's a trail. It goes all the way from Georgia to Maine, and it's one long continuous hiking trail. And I remember thinking about that. It's like, that man's walking from Georgia to Maine? Daddy, how does he do that? Well, John, that's why he has that big pack. he's carrying everything he needs.
He's
I
that
thought,
crazy
wow.
guy.
You know, my little mind is trying to get around it, but it planted a big seed. And I remember thinking, you know, I'd like to do that someday. I'd like to hike the Appalachian Trail like that big man. And so we're driving back to Austin, and we've kind of had a near-death experience, even though we weren't in the towers. I had been in those towers many times, way up high, and have financial meetings. So I'm thinking, I could have been there today.
Right.
I could have done.
It's crazy.
So what have I been doing? I've been doing this company now, Whole Foods, pretty much all I've done for the last 23 years. It was a wake-up call. What else do I want to do? And so I'm driving, and I'm seeing the Appalachian Trail, the mountains, the woods. So that's where that idea came back to me. And then I started reading up on it, and then I came across Jardine's book, and it's like I can ultralight backpack this thing. This would be fantastic. And so then I was on fire, got permission from my board to take the sabbatical, and that's the story, and then the rest is history, as they say.
I like that there's like crisis around you, but as you're going through the Appalachian Mountains, you were able to like kind of set that aside and become very reflective about it as you're in, you know, obviously the environment's bringing back the memories. And then
I was asking the question, Carl, about what else do I want to do besides work?
right.
You know, because I could have died today. It's great. I started a good company. It's done really well. Really proud of it. But hey, you know, I'm getting older. What else do I want to do? That popped in my mind as a really fun thing to do. And then I got obsessed with it.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about what else do I want to do. So I'm 100% with you.
Or you got kids now, so you got to wait till they grow up, and then you can take them on the adventure.
You're right, for sure. As much as possible, I'll say that. You referenced earlier that you're, you know, this kind of like unknown, like king of Whole Foods or king of the grocery store. So I got a grocery store question for you. Obviously, like being a CEO of a company, there's a lot of demands on your time. At the same time, like, you know, you're carving out time to kind of plan a backpacking trip, and there's can't completely replicate a through hike, but you can still train and get in shape and things like that. And so one of the strategies that I've thrown out on our podcast over the years that I don't think anybody likes, I think literally nobody likes the strategy, but you might, is this. I carve out, you know, whatever, 30 to 60 minutes, sometimes multiple times a week to go to the grocery store, Costco, whatever. And so I'm just walking around shopping. So I'm just walking. While I'm walking, why not throw on a weighted pack and get some training in while I'm shopping? Would this be socially appropriate to do at a Whole Foods store, and would you do it?
Sure, as long as you're not sticking stuff in your backpack.
I'm not stealing stuff. Come on now. Come on. You can check my pack on the way out and find the weight plates. How about that?
I mean, seriously, there are people that come into our store wearing backpacks because they're on some kind of adventure, and they're coming in. They're
To resupply.
They're hitchhiking, and they're moving through America.
Okay.
And so people are doing that. It's not a rare occurrence, particularly in the summer months, where you've got some people that are on adventure. Where are they going to put their pack? They don't live in Austin. They're taking their pack with them because they take it everywhere they go. They can't just set it down.
Yeah, but if I had my big backpack, I wouldn't bring that in the store because I'm going to knock over like the oranges or something. I'm talking like just like a school-sized backpack with weight plates in them. That's what I do.
Well, I mean, you could argue you should do anytime you go walking, you can do that. A lot of people.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
The grocery stores. If that's your main place to work out, Carl, to get your training in, you might want to think about a trail though.
It's not my main place. I'm just trying to be efficient with my time. I'm going to go for a workout at the grocery store. That's hilarious.
Hey, well, you know, listen, I'll give you an analogy for it. It's like I listen to books and podcasts whenever I'm driving, and oftentimes when I'm walking or hiking. That's a really good use of your time in a way, right? It's very efficient.
Well, it depends on the podcast, but yeah, for sure.
You can listen to a lot of podcasts, and I've in a year, just going out for a daily walk or driving in my car, you can put down so many books in a year. It's amazing.
But wait. Can you give me one, besides backpacking listeners, can you give me one podcast that you frequently listen to that's one of your favorites?
One of my favorite podcasts, I'm really into the NBA, so I listen to a lot of basketball podcasts like The Ringer, for example.
Gotcha. So I was on your website, and you have kind of a blog where you have these reflective thoughts about through hiking and backpacking, some really good thoughts. Building community and friendships are really important to you when you're out on the trail. I was thinking through that, and so you're out on the trail, you're nobody knows that you're.
But we're back to we're back to when I'm long distance hiking or whatever, or through hike.
This could be anywhere. It could. I mean, I don't know how many people you camp with or encounter.
I mean, I mostly hike now with friends. Like I'll have 3 friends with me when I go down to Big Bend.
Well, this could be now. This could be back in the day. But when you broke bread together and you're breaking bread with people maybe that you're meeting out on the trail, did you ever look over at like a fellow hiker that's like eating Spam and rice-a-roni and say something like, you can do better than that?
No.
Okay.
I like to oftentimes say, I'm not the food police. And
Okay.
I'm not.
Fair enough.
Nobody wants to be criticized. Nobody wants to be criticized for what they eat.
Yeah, I feel like if you're eating Spam, though, you're opening yourself up to being criticized. Let's be honest.
Well, you're just saying I don't want to be friends with somebody that eats Spam. That's
No,
fine.
I'm friends with people that eat Spam. But I'm willing to criticize them.
Well, then you're already friends, and they're putting up with your criticisms because they like you.
Probably.
But you're probably just teasing them, right?
No, we've talked about on the show, like, we put out some pretty strong opinions, and we're like, you can do better than Spam is one of our opinions. And people push back on that. It's a healthy banter. It's not anything mean-spirited or anything like that. Because Spam is a popular backpacking food, and it's obviously prepackaged. It's not very expensive. It's giving you some protein. It's not for me, and I think there's a lot of other options out there. So that's our thought on that.
One of the things I eat a lot of now on the trail, it's kind of like the last couple of years, it's kind of become my go-to food, is I have a very light, sort of flexible plastic bowl, and I've got a really light spoon, right?
Okay.
And then I've discovered powdered oat milk.
Yep.
So I'm going out with granola.
Okay.
Powdered.
Yeah.
You get the powdered oat milk, you put it in the bowl, you put your water in, get it all mixed up. Then you add your granola, maybe put some more raisins in it. And I just never get tired of that. I just can eat it. I can eat it. I could eat it every meal. It's delicious.
All right, let's go the opposite of Spam then. So like we got one extreme where you kind of got like the cheap food, and then you have the other extreme where you can buy the higher end food. So if I want to go on a 5-day backpacking trip and I only shop at Whole Foods and I want to get the good stuff, can I get out of there for under $1,000, do you think?
Probably not. That's such a loaded question. I mean, it depends on what you buy, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm willing to learn if there's some good stuff that you like specifically.
Here's the reality: if people would go in and price Whole Foods today, we price ourselves. We know what our prices are compared to our competitors. One of the things that Amazon acquiring Whole Foods allowed us to do is cut prices.
Right.
We've cut prices. I retired 3 years ago, and it's continued. In Whole Foods Market, we compare our prices to Trader Joe's, to Wegmans, to H-E-B, to everybody. And the last time we compared to Wegmans, for example, which is known for pretty low prices, we were spot on with them, slightly lower overall.
Wow.
That's right, exactly. Okay. Trader Joe's, we do private label. We take our 365 and we compare it to Trader Joe's exact, same products.
Right.
We're at parity with Trader Joe's or less expensive.
Interesting.
But because our stores are pretty, but we've really worked on being more price competitive.
Earlier this season, we had an episode out called 10 Backpacking Lies the Baby Boomers Told You. This is actually like a really popular episode, even with
I'm a baby boomer.
You're a baby boomer?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have some that go on our Patreon trips.
All I've been telling you is lies this entire podcast.
This whole time, don't believe anything you said.
Maybe some of them will get in the top 10.
This is something that I came up with where we just like generally believe things because they seem to make sense. Like I'll give you an example. So, when I was growing up, the baby boomer teachers were always telling me like, hey, when you're done with a run, don't put your hands on your knees. You got to put your hands behind your head because it opens up your lungs. But scientifically, they prove that to be false. It just sounds like it's right, but it's not.
I never did that.
Well, I was told that by you weren't my PE teacher, thankfully. But
you got to work out your issues with your own parents. I can't really.
Well, that was what that episode was about. I was working out all my issues on that episode. So that.
Well, I've always put my hands on my knees because that's a natural thing to do.
It's comfortable.
It feels better.
Way better. So we went through a bunch of them, but is there anything that you used to believe about backpacking and now you don't? Any sort of like backpacking way to do things, theories, just anything at all?
I already told you what I used to believe about backpacking was that the magazines and whatnot and the gear companies want you to believe that, you're not going to be safe out in the wilderness unless you're prepared for anything. If a bear's going to maul you, you got to be ready for that. could be a hurricane or a tornado could come along. What do you know about? Is your tent going to be able to stand up in hurricane winds? People go out with sort of a fear-based philosophy that you're not going to be safe in the wilderness unless you just are really, really geared up. The main things I discovered that you might say is a myth is you need to be able to stay dry and warm. I tend to over prepare. However cold I think it's going to be, since they always overrate these sleeping bags anyway. If it's a 20-degree bag, it's really a 30-degree bag. If it's a 40-degree bag, it's a 50-degree bag. So I'm always prepared for cold weather, because there's nothing worse than not being, well, there's some things that are worse in life, but it's not a pleasant thing to not be able to sleep because you're too cold. I over prepare there, and I want to make sure that my tent has good water resistance and it's going to be stable. But then again, I'm using a Gossamer Gear Z-Pax tent that's, only going to weigh 12 to 16 ounces. But still, you can set those things up and they can handle really high winds.
If you're good at it, for sure.
I mean, yeah. Like with the Z-Pax tent, you're setting it up with 8 stakes. And if you're doing a duplex tent, it's actually amazingly stable. And I've had some pretty high winds. But my point is that, and then you need to have good rain gear. So dry and warm, right? And maybe some sleeping socks. But in general, I go very ultralight because I happen to believe that I'm going to be able to dry off and stay safe and warm in my tent, whatever happens while I'm out on the trail, so to speak. So I think the myths that I'm questioning is whether you need so much gear, particularly if you're really out there to hike. I think people sometimes said, well, you make a trade-off between comfort on the trail versus comfort in camp. But I'm of the school, one of my teachers and close friends is Glenn Van Pesky. And Glenn, his philosophy is, we're just out here to hike. And so we're just gonna hike from, all day, sun up to sundown. And then we're gonna be so tired that you're not gonna have any trouble sleeping. And Glenn, of course, he's such a minimalist. He's always got a base weight under 5 pounds and sometimes under 4 pounds. And it's incredible how he does it. But he's always dry and safe. He's, he really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's kind of like the idea of packing your fears and kind of identifying, like, am I overreacting to things that are highly unlikely or just simply not going to happen?
The more backpacking you do and the more you get comfortable with your gear and what its capabilities are and its limitations, the more you can start to let go of. One good practice I would recommend listeners do is when you finish a backpacking trip, pull out all your gear, throw it put it together, and ask, what gear did I not use?
Right, that's good.
And you're amazed at how much. You'll be amazed how much gear you don't use, and then how much gear you almost never use. Now, if you didn't happen to use your rain gear, don't get rid of your rain gear. For sure. That your 10 essentials should be there.
Okay, so it's time for our lightning round, where I'm going to give you 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can, and these could be related to backpacking or things we've talked about or not.
I'll answer quickly, so the limitation will be my answers, it'll be the questions.
You seem like a very thoughtful person, though, and sometimes when I ask a question, people really want to kind of ponder a little bit, so that's trip people.
It's a lightning round, so to me, the name of the game is speed.
Speed, for sure. But my questions might throw you some curveballs, just FYI, so we'll see how it goes.
I'm a good curveball hitter. See if you can get one by me.
If I'm flubbing the questions, then I'll add time on. So if it's on my end, then I'll give you a little bit extra. But here we go. Okay. So the timer starts after I ask the first question.
Okay.
Your favorite backpack?
Z-Pax Nero 50 liter.
A good entrepreneur is?
Person of action.
Favorite food with preservatives?
None.
A celebrity's phone number that you have?
Matthew McConaughey.
If you gave Jeff Bezos knuckles, would he do the explosion?
I don't know.
If you could uninvent something, what would it be?
Nuclear weapons.
Would you put Snickers in the energy bar aisle or candy aisle?
Neither.
What was the last nightmare you remember?
Monsters were chasing me.
Okay. Favorite trail snack?
Trail mix, Gorp.
And time, right? That was really well done. You're one of the fastest ones. Well done.
That was the game. I wanted to win the game.
You did skip a couple, though. You did kind of slide like let's see. We didn't have an answer for Jeff Bezos and Knuckles. Like, I know you probably shake his hand when you encounter him, right?
Yes, I did. I don't think I understood that question.
So, like, I don't know if you do this with, younger folks.
Oh, you mean would I knuckle him? I thought you were talking about like Jeff Bezos is he wore like brass knuckles or something like that.
I hope not.
I didn't. You should have demonstrated it. I didn't.
I tried to demonstrate as I was saying it, but I'm not as quick as you. You were super quick. So, all right, well, you can answer now. If you're like, hey, Jeff, and you gave him knuckles, would he be like, hey?
I'm pretty sure that I never have knuckled with Jeff Bezos when we worked together, but I'm sure he probably does.
Okay, it's more towards, you probably haven't done that. It's more towards his personality.
You mean what he like that?
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm a teacher, so I'm always giving kids knuckles when they're, just say hi or when they're doing good things. But another one you mentioned was so you would not put Snickers in either the energy bar or the candy aisle. I know it's not carried at Whole Foods.
Whole Foods doesn't sell Snickers.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, would you which one if you started carrying it, where would you put it? I guess
it's a candy. It's not an energy bar
for backpackers.
Whatever. I'm just telling you what it is. I mean,
okay.
You can eat it, but don't rationalize that you're somehow or another eating something good for you.
You know what? More people have said energy bars on this show than candy bars, but you are the grocery store expert.
There's a very thin line between an energy bar and a candy bar.
Correct.
But of course, what sells better? The sweeter, the more calorie dense it is, the more sugar it has in it, the more fat it has in it, and the more protein it has in it. Kind bars, I mean, a lot of these things taste like candy bars to me.
They do. And if you compare them nutritionally, they're very, very similar, like very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
So I compared a Cliff Bar to a Snickers bar, and it's almost the same.
I know. People can rationalize eating a Cliff Bar easier than they can rationalize eating a Snickers bar. Although you didn't say.
But if you were to put it in Whole Foods in the energy bar aisle, then we can rationalize it way better or way easier.
But
right?
Snickers bar just happens to be a brand Whole Foods doesn't sell. I don't know why. It's
more
preservatives
just like
in it.
a fantasy.
That was one of the ones I also said I wouldn't. He said what food is your like favorite food that has preservatives in it, and I answered that truthfully. I try to avoid preservatives. I try to eat whole foods. I try not to eat very much processed food. Although you'll like this. You'll really like this one. My wife says, she says, John, there's two reasons why you really like to go long distance backpacking. And I said, what are those? He says, well, you can rationalize eating vegan junk food that you can't rationalize in your normal life. So that's why you're actually going out.
Correct. It's just an excuse to eat whatever you want and burn the calories at the same time, right?
And second, you just want to go out there and listen to books and podcasts all day long instead of working.
Without interruption.
Pretty much.
Those are wise words there and good insight.
Wife of 35 years, she knows me well.
For sure. I have to ask you, what did the monsters look like that were chasing you in your nightmare? What kind of monsters are we talking about here?
They were just big.
Okay. Are they symbolic of anything, like other grocery competitors, or?
It's one of those dreams that you wake up and you think to yourself, "Oh man, I'm so glad that was just a dream." I wouldn't read too much into it. That was the first thing that popped into my mind. I don't have frequent dreams of monsters chasing me. I don't think there's any deep meaning to it. Might have been something I ate that night. Who knows?
Yeah, that could be true.
I'm not going to see a therapist about it. Let me put it that way.
I'm not asking you to. I was just, it's just kind of interesting question to ask somebody. I always find the answers fascinating, especially when people are willing to answer it. But yeah,
I don't have that many nightmares, to be honest. Take more and do less. And I'll make a pitch before we're going out of here on my sort of memoir that tells us.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. So anything you want to share about where we can find it? Anything?
Yeah, it's called The Whole Story: Adventures in Love, Life, and Capitalism. And it's also about my backpacking adventures to a certain extent, particularly the Appalachian Trail, and I hiked that one. So yeah, if you enjoyed what I had to say today, you'd probably really enjoy that book. It's mostly just stories. Yeah,
and we'll have a link for that in our show description. So if you want to check that out, you can click on that for sure.
Thanks.
Mr. Mackey.
Call me John.
Okay, John, it's been an honor and pleasure to hang out with you and a lot of fun. And I'm so glad you have a good sense of humor with some of the crazy questions I threw at you. But thank you so much for taking the time to join our show.
Thanks, Carl. It's a pleasure. I wish you the very best.
You know that feeling when you're out on the trail and something goes sideways, a strap breaks, gear jams up, and you realize you can handle it? That's capability, and that's what Case Knives are all about. Case has been building knives the right way for over 100 years, right out of Bradford, Pennsylvania, and they've literally made history. These knives have been to the moon, helped win wars, and spent plenty of weekends in the backcountry. When you carry a Case knife, you're carrying more than a blade. You're carrying confidence, that I got this mindset that turns obstacles into stepping stones. And hey, a Case knife makes the perfect gift for the handy person or adventurer in your life. So make the season a cut above the rest. Unwrap a classic and give the gift of capability with Case knives. Find your perfect knife at caseknives.com. All right.
All right, everyone, let's talk about drinking and driving, a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI because legal fees, time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that'll change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
So if you listen to the episode, I think we can answer that question you asked right before we jumped in, was about, like, why is it considered the poshiest? And I think that goes to my question about if, like, can I get out of the store for under $1,000 if I'm buying for a backpacking trip? And he said, like, he kind of played along with that, but he basically said that prices have come down at Whole Foods, and so it's maybe not as poshy as it once was.
Not as posh as it once was. I think it's the poshiest of the stores, yeah.
Probably.
Because we have, like, Gelson's, Pavilions, Sprouts. It's like, it's not even close.
Nobody knows Gelson's. Sprouts isn't poshy. It's like a step
It's right,
up
but Whole Foods has like a restaurant in here. It's like, it's just got stuff the other ones don't. I don't know. It's
a restaurant.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know.
Wow.
Maybe not in your neck of the woods.
All I know is, as a teacher, like, when I go into Whole Foods, I just feel like I don't belong.
Yeah, exactly. That's accurate. So I want to know from you, and be honest, like, overall, how would you say that interview went?
I think overall it was awesome. But what everybody doesn't know is that I asked a really clunky first question.
Not surprised.
And not surprising. Well, I didn't think it was clunky. It was like, I did my research and I listened in on another interview that he did. And then I just basically asked a question about that. He told a story about backpacking and how he went on this backpacking trip and kind of discovered some of these Whole Foods type stores in California. And when I asked about that, he's like, yeah, that's not how it went down. I was like, uh-oh.
Shut down.
Yeah, so I edited that out. But if you want to hear some clunky awkwardness, I'm gonna save it and release it as a bonus segment on Patreon. We went on it wasn't like a quick thing. Like, we went on and talked about other things, but I was like trying my best to recover, and for quite a long time I was failing.
I mean, he refused, like, politely refused, like, your invite to the Lord of the Rings Patreon trip. Do you think what was that about?
Yeah, at this point we're early on in the conversation, so I don't know that he had gotten to know me well enough, but I think that had I asked that at the end, he probably still would have rejected me. Let's be honest.
That's just interview, experience, maybe you'll get better over time.
Okay. So when would you ask somebody to join a Lord of the Rings themed Patreon trip where you have to dress up like characters? When would you ask that in an interview?
I think you end that like second or third to last question because it's like he's going to get a feel for you. He's going to see your magic.
Yeah.
And then you bust out a Legolas line and then ask him.
Fair enough. So
the
question came up early on because we're talking about his trail name, Strider. And so then I didn't realize like how passionate he was about Lord of the Rings. So in the moment, I was like, well, if you're this passionate, guess what? And then shut down.
It was kind of like, hey, do you want to be best friends before you even know me? That's kind of the vibe maybe you gave him.
Is that not a good strategy to talk like that?
I mean, I get that you're in the moment. You got caught up, Strider. I get it. But maybe he was just overwhelmed by your, you. I don't know. Maybe it's too much. He wasn't
offended when Backpacking Magazine rated his trail name Strider as just so.
That's terrible, dude. That's a rad name. I'm gonna
What? That's such a how many people have like Aragorn or my trail name is Gandalf? Like how many people have that name? Come on.
Who gave it to him?
Himself.
Okay, that doesn't count then. That is so. You can't give yourself.
He gave it to himself, and he called himself like the secret king.
No, what?
Because he was the king of grocery land when he's through hiking, but nobody knows. Nobody knew that he was the CEO of Whole Foods.
That's like if I'm on the trail and I'm like, my name's the Legend. Well, you can't. That doesn't.
That's something you would do. You would totally do that
for fun. I wouldn't stick to it.
Maybe he was doing it for fun.
Maybe not because it's in a magazine. So
it's not. It's Backpacking Magazine, not a real magazine.
It's next to my. Okay.
Okay, but my thought. Okay, I don't want to. I'm not trying to bash his trail name. I said it was so, which is like in between.
No, I'm bashing it. I'm bashing it.
But what I do want to know about is so Aragorn, he calls himself like the Secret King as like, Strider's like the name before. He takes on Aragorn as the king. But I always thought of Aragorn as the resistant king. Like he knows he's supposed to take that spot, but he doesn't want it. And so he's like hiding in the wild doing the rangering things.
Right.
He's right on that one.
I mean, I think it's a mixture because yes, he was the resistant king. That's why he should have been king because he didn't want it. He was supposed to get it, right? The whole thing. His motive is pure, blah, blah, blah. But I think if you're giving yourself the name of the most pure-hearted, gnarliest warrior, good-looking dude, he does it all. I don't know. It doesn't land. That's to be like if if you called yourself, I don't know, what do you call yourself? That's why me giving you the name Shoulders is going to be good because it's fun.
And it's
super
ridiculous.
humble.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Okay.
So
just curious what your take was. Excellent analysis. So take that how you want to take that.
High profile analysis. Let's talk about the what was it? The 911 attacks and the
9/11. The 911.
Well, 9/11. I have it in my notes. 911.
It's when everybody dialed 911.
Look, on 9/11, people dialed 911, so it's not that far.
100%. Okay, so that's why it was anyway, I don't want to make fun of that event. All right, so
nor should you.
He shares a story about he's traveling as he's kind of escaping New York. He's traveling through the Appalachian Mountains. It spurs on a memory where he had encountered somebody emerging from the trail when he was a child. It was all bushy beard.
Right.
I assume just crazy old, super heavy external frame backpack. And then that inspired him to become a through hiker. It was a singular moment where he had that encounter and then asked his dad about it.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a singular experience like that really shaped the course of your future or something that you would end up doing?
In general or on the trail? Well, I mean, I guess I can answer to
anything, yeah.
I guess
thought it was a pretty cool experience.
I mean, nothing crazy. I had some good mentors that helped me figure out how to run my life after college and stuff and where to, financially, but on the trail, the only this is gonna sound funny. You're gonna remember this. The only time I ever remember seeing a rugged, gnarly through hiker dude was the guy. I think we were on it was the Magic Show trip after the lightning storm. We see this guy roll up, and he's got plastic bags on his feet, and he's he's 80,000 years old. And he's like, I've been doing 100. I think he's on I'm 150 miles in, and I'm still or whatever he said. And I'm like, this dude is nuts. But I'm like, it didn't make me be I got to do that. That's awesome. I wasn't.
Right.
But for him, if that's what spoke to him, then that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know.
That's cool.
When he's young and when you're again, I'm an adult at this time. But if I'm 10, I might be dude, that's rad.
Yeah.
I don't know. So.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I saw like an old George Reeves black and white Superman episode when I was really young, and I wanted to be Superman,
yeah.
but that didn't really work out.
Yeah. What about Halloween? At least? Did you
Yeah,
do-
definitely Halloween.
Okay,
Halloween.
all right.
Yeah, but no, I think that for me, like I would say it's a similar. It wasn't quite a positive experience, but there were like rumblings and rumors in high school about some high schoolers getting together to go to Yosemite on a camping trip, and then they would come back and be like, "That was amazing. We had the best time." And so I was like, "I want to do that."
Yeah,
and then, so when I was a senior, I planned the trip and then invited a bunch of people, and then that was kind of what spurred my love for the outdoors. So
really just jealousy and envy created all this.
pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah. Or fear of missing out. Is that part of it too?
I feel like, isn't that like all of high school? Like, oh, they're doing that? I want to do that, right? That's a lot.
But I wasn't the guy that typically planned things at the time. Like I was the guy that hoped to get invited along. And so this is the first time I actually planned something.
So
and it
you're
worked. I was like,
branching out. You're branching out.
Yeah.
and trying
It was a
something new.
risk.
That's
It was a
cool though.
risk, for
I
sure.
like that.
So
and look where you are now.
yeah. All right. Last thoughts would be just I asked him grocery store questions. He was basically Team Carl with backpack on in the grocery store for training.
Oh,
but he was Team Derek sort of, I think, for Snickers because he just rejected the idea of a Snickers ever going into like a Whole Foods.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, and if it's coming from the Mac, Strider, I mean, I think it's the case closed. I think it's case closed.
Okay, but thank you. Are you against Snickers?
I'm against
What's thank
Snickers. If you're saying he's Team Derek for the Snickers being a candy bar, not going to be in the Whole Foods energy bar.
He was calling it a candy bar, but so definitely, so Team Derek in that regard. But he was saying like, but I don't even want to talk about it because like it would never even be in Whole Foods. It wouldn't be in the candy aisle or the energy bar aisle because it wouldn't be there at all.
That's a whole separate issue. But the fact that the Mac is calling it a candy bar, case closed.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I think we've solved that, and I win.
Maybe.
What do you mean? Maybe it's the Mac, dude. What are you talking about?
He's calling himself the secret king. That doesn't mean that I got to call him that.
You said he's the goat.
You can bow down to the grocery king of Austin, Texas, if you want to, but I'm not going to.
Look, I'm just glad we're on the same team with this candy bar situation. So,
Yeah. All right.
All right.
I got a few tidbits. We talked about troll reactions, and then we got an interesting reaction from the Rob Pelton episode. These tidbits are brought to you by Magnet Designs, home of the awesome Bend Alpha 90 hoodie, an ultralight mid-layer that's breathable, hydrophobic, and dang comfortable. It'll be my pack moving forward, like we talked about a couple weeks ago. Lighten your load with American-made products by Googling magnetdesigns.com.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So troll reactions. We got. I forwarded you some stuff. I don't want to dig too far into. I think I need to.
I have it.
I don't want to dig too far into it. Is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's fine.
So tread lightly, Derek. Tread lightly.
I'm salivating right now.
One of the guys we called out as being kind of one of our like more notorious trolls over the years. I guess he's still listening. So I guess if maybe he did come around and start to like both of us, not just you, I think I wrecked that.
Wow. You're just stirring everybody's pot. That's what you love.
So he corrected me. Okay, so one of the things he corrected me on was I said that he gave us a 1-star review and he actually gave us a 3-star review. So I apologize. I stand corrected.
I mean,
I thought I remembered it accurately.
Yeah.
I guess I could have gone back and looked it up, but
I mean, I gotta go troll side on that. I mean, because you did mock me for not doing research on John Mackey before the episode, and now we're talking about this. It's
what's
ironic.
harder to do? Google who John Mackey is, or scroll through hours of episodes to find?
I feel like it's not hard to remember if it was 1-star or 3-star because we don't get many of those. And you can filter. Show me all the.
Yeah, you're right. We've barely done any episodes, like only 400 or some odd. So it's easy to remember everything we ever talked about. So my apologies.
Hey, podcast app, filter out my reviews. Show me all the 1-star. Oops, click. I'm there. I mean, that's yeah.
Okay, you're more tech savvy than I am.
I doubt that.
We'll switch roles. Next time I'll just tell you who the guest is, and then you can tell me about the tidbits. How about that?
That's fair. I like that.
Anyway, so apologize about that. We got a lot of other troll reactions, people that are involved in like the B&B Bible study that made, I don't know if they're troll comments, made like critiques or corrections, people that have gone on Patreon trips, and they were all like relatively proud to be called B&B trolls.
It's like a badge of honor, so to speak.
Kind of was. And I was like, well, I don't know if you're a troll. You were just kind of correcting us and we just wanted to respond. They're like, no. No. I'll be a troll. Okay.
I want to be a troll. Some people just have to say stuff. They can't not
Right.
say stuff.
Right. Correct.
So
Right.
maybe them correcting you is their way of honoring you because you're a teacher and you like to grade things. Boom.
So now they're like, let's send it right back at you.
Touche.
There you go.
That's funny.
All right. Last comment that I got is from, so we had a Rob Pelton episode where we were talking about like whether cottage brands were worth investing in.
Oh,
And Patrick on YouTube said, cottage or corporate, it doesn't matter. If buying the gear keeps you in the cubicle working to pay for it, it's definitely not worth it. Stuff just sits in the basement unused, as worthless as those ducks in the Jeep. What the heck does that mean, Derek?
Ducks in the Jeep?
Yeah.
Is that like a Southern slang
it's a hunting
term?
reference.
Is that a hunting? I was gonna say Southern hunting. Okay, that tracks.
Like people that are buying hunting gear that don't actually go hunting, maybe.
Okay. I mean, usually, like my grandpa used to hunt ducks, so I guess if you hunted ducks and left them in the Jeep would start smelling pretty bad.
I think they're talking about the decoys.
What do we? Oh, the decoys.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Don't you have like a duck whistle, something like that? Come on.
Like from Duck Dynasty? How about one of the Duck Dynasty duck whistles just to support them?
Oh
Yeah.
man. Don't leave the ducks in the Jeep. I'm gonna start saying that. I love it.
This is the takeaway. This is your
Love
interpretation.
it.
You're focusing just on the ducks in the Jeep. That's interesting.
I've never heard that. It just stuck out. Ducks
Okay.
in the Jeep. I
It
really
is
want to just start
interesting.
saying it and
Right.
making people do what I just did. What? What? Yeah, it's just fun.
Okay. So he says if buying gear keeps you in the cubicle working to pay for it, it's not worth it. So I think
I get
he's
that.
thinking that we're buying gear, but we're not actually using it, first of all, which we actually do use our gear. But the other thing is like the implication is if we don't buy gear, we don't have to work in the cubicle. We don't have to work, dude. We can like quit our jobs if we just stop buying gear.
Yeah, because if you buy gear, you're gonna just be slave to the cubicle. You gotta keep working it.
Right.
It's just we're buying all the Osprey budget type items out there,
Yeah.
and it's hard. So
This was one of my favorite comments. I don't know that he meant it to be fun like this, but we had a lot of fun with that one. And
we're gonna make it fun.
the idea of what he's saying, if you're buying gear and you're not using it, like, of course, I understand that's a waste and you're just wasting your money. So I agree with that. I don't know that we interpreted the rest accurately.
I mean, don't you have gear? Like I have gear that I might use like once in a blue moon. Like, I have a 2-man tent that I got like 10 years ago that I just don't really, stuff like that. You have it, but it's not part of your main. I'm sure you have stuff like that.
Yeah, that I typically will sell that, lend it out, or whatever, but or give it away.
Right.
But yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we take all reactions and we have fun either way, and we appreciate that. So I think that's all I got.
That's all I got. Guys, it's always a pleasure. We will see you next time. Check us out on the podcast, the Apple. Leave us a review. Hopefully just 5-star. Let's just do that. And we will see you next time for more fun. Thanks for the trolls. Thanks for the memories. If you have the Mac on the show, and he like the Mac called me up, he's like, "Look, I'm gonna drop this Snickers bomb, and Carl's gonna be upset about it." And he was right. Carl called me, and he FaceTimed me eating a Snickers bar, just crying, and he said, "You're right, but you're never gonna hear that. You're never gonna hear that until I just told you."
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.